If you're a coach or a service provider who has a one-to-one program and is looking to sign more one-to-one clients specifically, this is the video for you. We are talking about not just how to increase your income in 2025, not just how to make more sales, not just how to sign more clients, but how to specifically sign more one-to-one clients and what it actually takes to sell out this high-ticket program of yours. I have been a one-to-one business coach for about 4 years now. I have sold 6 figures of one-to-one coaching alone. And honestly, this is such a game changer program when you can get it right, when you can sell out your one-to-one, your high-ticket program. It is a complete game changer for your business. The consistent income and revenue this can bring in for you, the consistent clients. It is such an incredible program to actually focus on selling out in 2025. So we're going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking about what does it actually take to get your one-to-one program sold out in 2025? What does it take to actually sign one-to-one clients? I'm going to be breaking down the exact tips, strategies that I would advise you if you were my client and we were having this conversation and we were working together and we were talking about how you can sign more one-to-one clients. I'm going to be giving you the breakdown of exactly what I would do, the exact actions I would take if I was you and wanting to sign more one-to-one clients in 2025. Now, a lot of the same normal sales strategies, sales logic and psychology and way of thinking that you know from every other offer absolutely does apply here. However, I think there are a few nuances specifically with one-to-one, as this is a high-ticket program, as this is typically a longer-term commitment. Someone's working with you for 6 months, let's say, and there's a few differences and a few things we want to do a little bit differently. And I'm going to really touch on those things today of what you should actually be doing, where you should actually be focusing to get you one-to-one clients this year. So the first thing and first area I want to touch on is some things that you can set up beforehand. So not necessarily the day-to-day sales actions. There's some things to make sure you have in place just to make it really easy for people to say yes, essentially. Because I think one of the biggest hurdles to people signing on for something like one-to-one is there's a few missing pieces that can kind of easily be solved by you spending a few hours and sitting down and actually creating this thing to make it easy for someone to decide they want to work with you and to actually say yes and to actually move forward in that process as well. So the first of those things is a testimonials page. Now, so many people do not have this and it blows my mind. I'm not saying here you need 1,000 testimonials whatsoever. I started my testimonials page when I had just 5 testimonials from clients total. And this is such a game changer, firstly, because as I said, a lot of people don't do this. So it's really easy to create a testimonials page and have this as something that you can share when you're talking about, yeah, my clients will typically achieve these results working with me, or this is what it looks like to work with me. This is what we do inside my program. Here's a link to my testimonials page with hearing from an exact client story, hearing client results and seeing what have my clients actually achieved. Now, this can be so simple. You can absolutely just have some screenshots in there if you have any of those. You can get the actual written testimonials from clients. You can include video testimonials as well. I have a whole bunch of video and written testimonials on mine. So mine has now grown to the point where I have almost 20 client testimonials and case studies on there. So it's very extensive at this point. But again, I started with just 5, but this is just so helpful because it means that people have one place they can go to kind of get a feel of what it looks like to work with you one-to-one. It gives them a really good idea of what your style is like, of how people have really seen the experience working with you, what they really took from it, the real standout points essentially. So for example, it's really easy for someone to see that I'm very strategic in my approach. I'm very tangible in how I coach people and the, way we work together. It's very easy for you to see that from my testimonials page. And also it's really easy for you to see that I'm very much focused on this being a supportive container, on creating that support and creating that, safe space that you can come to just share anything. You can very much see that from just the wording that my clients use on the testimonials page. And you can just really get a nice feel for that. Now, if all you have right now is screenshots, use screenshots. But if you can get written testimonials or video testimonials, even better, absolutely get those. Ask your past clients, ask your current clients if they're happy to send over a testimonial and utilize those, because those are so helpful for just giving more of a bigger picture than screenshots can give, and actually more of a case study feel essentially, so you can kind of get to know not just what did someone achieve from working with you, but also where were they when they started. And it's then easy for an ideal client to see, yeah, I can really relate to this person because, wow, we started in the exact same place. I'm in this place where they were when they started working with Lauren. And, 3 months later, they achieved this. Okay, wow, that's maybe possible for me then. And it kind of just gives them an easier idea of being able to put themselves in those clients' shoes and see what could be possible for them through your program as well. So I would absolutely, the more in depth you can make it, the more detailed you can make it, the more you can add to it, absolutely go wild there, because again, we're really using this to build the credibility. And this is something you can just sit down and put together for a few hours, have as a page on your website, have as a story highlight on Instagram. So it's really, really easy for someone to just instantly tick that box in their head of, is this person qualified? Is this person someone who can actually get me results? It's so easy to tick that box when we've got something like a testimonials page. The second thing to set up before we start on any of the sales strategies, just to make sure you are good to go here, is a discovery call link or an application link. So either one of those, whether you're wanting a discovery call link straight to your calendar, or you're wanting an application where people will just fill out a Google form, for example, with a few questions just to see if they're a good fit, essentially. This is so, so helpful, because especially with something like one-to-one, oftentimes people will struggle because we don't have any way of seeing who our leads are for this. Oftentimes people won't have any lead generation in place for this, and it'll just be, okay, I'm going to talk about the program, and then no one's signing up. I'm not really sure why. I feel like no one's interested, but actually there were people interested. There were people watching. We just didn't know who they were. So this is so helpful introducing this, because it's kind of a little bit of an easier step. It's not them saying, here's my credit card, I want to sign up for the program right now. It's just them saying, I'm interested. Let's talk about this further. And then it makes it really easy for you when you're selling your coaching program and you're talking about your one-to-one program on your Instagram stories, for example, because you don't actually need to sell the program on there. You don't need to get someone sold on the program just from your content. You just need to get them sold on the idea of, I'm curious about working with this person. They just need to be sold on that next step, which is booking a discovery call with you, which is filling in this application to find out more and have a conversation. It's just that next step they need to get sold on, which makes it so much easier for you to actually sign clients, because we're not needing to wait until they are 100% convinced, 100% decided before they'll even have a conversation with us. We can just really sell it from the perspective of, if you are curious about working with me, if you're interested in more details, let's hop on a call together, let's hop on a discovery call, go to this link, book in a time, etc. And you can make it really easy then to actually find out who is thinking about working with you. And then on the discovery call, your job is actually selling them on the program. That's the time when we're talking about the specific details of, it's 6 months, here's the price point, here's how many calls you have, all of those things. So having this, it almost just reduces that barrier to entry and makes it a little bit easier for people to start a conversation with you, and also gives them a really easy next step. It's so much easier for someone to actually go and just schedule a time in your calendar for us to speak on a discovery call next Tuesday, versus saying, okay, great, here's the link to the checkout, and I have to fill in all these details. I have to start this payment plan. I need to figure out when I want the payments coming out, all of those things. So make sure you've got those two sections of the testimonials page and then the discovery call links set up, and then we'll jump into the marketing. So let's talk about how to actually market your one-to-one offer, how to actually get the word out about this, how to actually get leads, how to actually get people interested, and how to get clients from this, essentially. So the first thing I want to touch on, especially going into 2025, and especially with a one-to-one program, is really vague transformations just aren't cutting it anymore. Saying, I'm going to help you grow your business, and that is it. It's just not cutting it anymore, because as we know, there's a lot of people who do your specific thing. Saying, I'm going to help you design a great website, it's kind of not cutting it anymore. We kind of need to be a little bit more specific there. And that is a really easy thing to do. It can feel hard because we're so in it, but actually looking at what is it that makes me different? What is it that makes my offer specifically different? What is the angle I take that's a little bit different that I can use to make this transformation just that bit more specific? That is what really attracts people nowadays. So for example, with me, I'm a business coach. Yes, I help you grow your business, but I don't just talk in that language. I talk from the perspective of, I'm going to help you grow and scale your business in the simplest way possible, with really this idea of strategic simplicity. So we're going to be super strategic. We're going to be so intentional with where your time is going, and we're going to simplify the heck out of everything. So essentially we're picking the easiest, simplest route possible to you growing this business, to actually give you more freedom that you started this business for in the first place, and mean that actually, as you're growing, as you're increasing your income, you're actually working less than you were before, because you're just doing things in a better and more intentional, more strategic way. So that is really my focus. That's my specific transformation. And that's speaking to a specific type of person who is a bit limited with their time. Maybe they're a mum. I've had a lot of clients who are mums. Maybe they travel a lot. Maybe they just really value their time and their energy, and they want to just do things the simplest way possible and just be really intentional with where their time is going. That is the person who really resonates with my work, not just someone who is saying, I just want to grow and that is it. That is why people work with me specifically versus anyone else. So get specific with your transformation. Think about where can I make it that a little bit more specific? Where can I make it a little bit clearer with who I'm speaking to, who I'm helping, and how I'm helping them as well. Just even taking that different angle and that different approach of what you value. So for example, with me, freedom is obviously a really big value of mine. It's a big value of my clients as well. So speaking more to that, and I speak through that specific angle and how the way I do things is going to help you achieve more of that specifically. That is a really nice way to get more specific there. The second thing to be doing to actually market your one-to-one program in 2025 is actually having multiple lead generation strategies. So by this, I just mean multiple ways that potential clients can come into your space. I feel like so many of us have gone through the years of really relying on one specific strategy. I know for a lot of us, that's organic content and just posting content to Instagram, and fingers crossed someone will sign up essentially. And is a client going to sign up this month? Maybe, I hope so. That would be really great. But if they don't, not much we can do about that. And this is why it's so nice to actually have multiple different strategies and multiple approaches you're using, because if one of them doesn't sign you a client this month, that's totally fine, because we have 2 others which can sign you a client this month. So it's really helpful to almost diversify this a little bit. And again, it's not saying you need to spend so much time sitting through, masterminding all of these different lead generation strategies, but actually just thinking about what are some different pathways, what are some different routes people could come through. So for example, if you're in that position where I feel like probably 80% of people are, where organic content is kind of the only way you're promoting your one-to-one right now, actually adding in a specific freebie with a email sequence that they're receiving after that. And this freebie is really specifically targeted towards who would be a great fit for your one-to-one, and then giving them an email sequence with an offer to join your one-to-one after that. Something along those lines, using mini offers, which I have done a lot throughout the last year and I've mentioned in several videos prior to this, or even using masterclasses, things like that, but just different ways that people can come in and thinking about how can I even get one-to-one clients right now? What are the routes that they're coming in via? And can I just add some more routes to this to just diversify this and mean that actually I'm kind of increasing my probability and likelihood of me signing a one-to-one client in the first place, because I'm not just relying on one pathway working really, really well. I've actually got several different ways that these people can come in. And this as well takes away a bit of that pressure that we can sometimes have to be actively showing up to sign a client. As in, if you're relying on organic content, for example, if you don't post content for a week, obviously we're not going to really be signing a client. Sure, they could see the older content coming through there, etc. But realistically, it kind of relies us being on constantly for anything to happen, versus if we're setting up a sequence from a freebie, if we're setting up a automated masterclass, which is going out. Any of those things can be really nice to just diversify, but also mean that you're not constantly needing to show up every single day and saying, if I want to sign a client, it equals I need to show up more. It actually can then just be, I need to be a bit more strategic and make sure I'm mentioning this funnel that I have, make sure I'm mentioning this freebie, and then I'm pretty good, because people are going to be coming in and they're going to be going through that sequence, which I've already created there. Now, step 3 to this process, let's talk about actually converting one-to-one clients. So we've talked about marketing, we talked about those pieces you need to set up beforehand. We talked about then how do we actually market this program? How do we actually get some potential one-to-one clients in? How do we actually get them to sign up now? And this can be one of the biggest challenges for people, of having potential one-to-one clients reach out and then they don't sign on now. It's, maybe in a few months I'll be interested, all of those different things. How do we actually convert them? Especially when, for most people, I think this is probably 90% of people, one-to-one programs are evergreen. Someone can sign up tomorrow, they can sign up next month, they can sign up next year if they're wanting to. There's no kind of launch natural urgency of the doors are closing. Of course, there's naturally that, I have X number of spaces left, but I know for a lot of people, and probably if you're watching this video, you have several spaces left. So that urgency doesn't necessarily work in terms of, you need to sign up, otherwise there literally isn't going to be an opportunity, because they know that, there's been 2 spaces open for a while, so I'm probably good waiting a little bit longer. So how can we actually get them to take action, and how can we actually get these people off the fence? So the first thing is really creating an incentive to join now. So this can be anything, but any specific reason why they should join now. Something which is just creating any deadline that they're going to get a certain thing if they sign up by this certain date, this can be really nicely adding in any kind of bonus. So for example, if you say, okay, if you sign up before the end of February, or if you sign up for the week after I've done this masterclass, you're going to get a bonus VIP day added with me. You're going to get a bonus call added. You're going to get a bonus month added to the end of your program. Anything like that can be really nice to get people off the fence who had been thinking about it. Even as well, you can do this for locking in a later date contract. So as long as they sign the contract and pay a deposit, they'll get that bonus as well. So it can kind of, for those people who are thinking, I want to start in the summer, we can just lock them down essentially and really get those people actually committing and making a decision versus waiting till the summer. Then they've kind of decided maybe not and kind of procrastinating on that decision. This can, of course, as well be a discount that you're utilizing too, or it can be something like a fast action bonus. So for example, if we've just had our discovery call, you can do something like, you'll get an extra bonus if you sign up within the next 72 hours after this call to, again, give them that incentive to sign up a little bit faster. Think about what would work nicely for your audience and what would be as well just a really juicy extra thing to add in if you're going to be adding in a bonus. What would they actually appreciate? What would be really useful? I know, for example, a lot of people will do this when it's around the new year and they're looking to sign clients for starting in January and they're signing these people in November, let's say. They will include something like, okay, if you're going to be starting January 1st with me, for the new year, then in December, I'll throw an extra planning session. So we will hop on the call together. We will have a planning session, just a complete free bonus to get you set up for when we do start on January 1st. So that can be really nice, thinking about timing there of what could fit really nicely and just be a really nice incentive that actually gets people off the fence and gets them taking action. And the second thing I would do to actually convert people into one-to-one coaching and actually get them to sign up for your one-to-one program in 2025 specifically is honestly pitch your offer 10 times more. I want you to be talking about your offer 10 times more. I want you to really be shouting this from the rooftops because again, we know people are super distracted on social media. We know they're distracted even when they're seeing their email inbox nowadays because we just get so many emails constantly from so many different mailing lists. What can you do to actually make sure people are not just really aware of your program, but you're staying top of mind for people? People are really paying attention. They're really thinking about it because you've probably been there. I definitely have, where you have seen someone talking about a certain offer and you hadn't really even been thinking about it. You'd seen them talking about it, but you hadn't even considered it. And then the 8th time they mention it, you then start thinking, oh, maybe this could be something interesting for me. Just because they've mentioned it so much, you then start thinking about it. So actually there's so much power in just almost that repetition there of just keeping to repeat that same, again, specific transformation, which we were talking about, and being known for that, being the go-to person. So as soon as someone thinks, hey, I want to grow my business in a really simple way, I'm the first person they think of, for example, because I talk about that so much. And also for the people who are thinking about working with you, it just gets them really more actively thinking about it and thinking about taking a decision and actually making a decision there and actually taking action there because they see you talking about it so much. So I would challenge you, if you're wanting to sign more one-to-one clients, can you challenge yourself to really just talk about it 10 times more? What would that look like for you? What would it look like to talk about your program every single day in some way? What would it look like to talk about it in just the really light ways, really casual ways, bringing it in as well of just, hey, my client celebrated this win this morning. It doesn't need to be a single huge pitch every single time. It doesn't need to be this really, really big thing. It can be those small ways, but just talking about it. So it's this really present thing in your content, in your marketing, and for your audience as well. And really doing that intentional, almost push for one-to-one, because that is what oftentimes will get people actually coming out and, thinking about it and actually showing that they have been thinking about working with you and actually booking those discovery calls in the first place. So those are the exact things I would share with you to do and to focus on to actually sign more one-to-one clients going into 2025. If you are wanting to really double down on actually getting consistent income in your business this year, filling out your one-to-one program, getting this program fully booked for maybe the first time ever in your business, and getting you consistent clients, getting you consistent income in the simplest way possible, I'm going to be opening the doors to my one-to-one coaching program very, very soon. So check out the link in the bio and you can book a discovery call with me. We can have a time to chat to see if you could be a good fit and see how I can help you with growing your business and growing your income in the simplest and easiest way possible with all of the freedom in 2025. Thank you so much for watching this video as well. Make sure you give it a like if you enjoyed this one. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the new videos every single Monday, and I will see you in the next one.